Here in front of me are the results for those long-awaited dye tests done on the injection wells by the Barbados Water Authority. Now, you may remember from watching previous Water Wednesdays, the injection wells, that concept was introduced as an interim measure to provide a fix and some relief for sewage problems on the South Coast. To talk to me about what these results mean is the General Manager of the Barbados Water Authority, Keithroy Halliday.
The dye test results, for all intents and purposes, are good. They are good. They reflect what we had expected, which is that there will be no environmental impact from the use of the injection well. As you could appreciate, the dye tests really were to determine through the use of dye tracing or OUL, dye tracing, using a fluorescein type dye, where the actual effluent or where the water will actually end up. And as we are determined and surmised before, because of the depth of the wells and the fact that the effluent will be going into the hypersaline oceanic floor, we did not expect that any of that would come up in areas that would affect either the environment to the stump or even the near shore. And we're satisfied that based on the dye test that those results reflect exactly that. Well, what this allows us to do is to start using the injection wells to be able to divert the effluent, and that will give us the opportunity, as you correctly said, to examine the sewer lines, to examine the force main to see what the issue is. Is it something that we can actually repair? Is it something that we have to create a force main, a bypass around? Is there another means? What exactly is creating the issue? Because it's not just important to be able to fix the issue, but we also need to know what has contributed to the issue. And that will give us an indication of what else potential or possible problems we can have in the sewage collection system as well. So again, as you would have said, it's really only an interim measure. It's only an interim step. And the injection wells are only going to be used on a temporary basis and not a permanent basis. And it's just for us to also be able to control the level of backflow, the level of overflows on the street. That has always been our primary focus. First of all, to make sure we have no sewage on the streets. Secondly, to be able to examine what's happening on the ground. And thirdly, to then be able to determine through a combination analysis and all the results we've had so far, what would be the best recourse or the best step in terms of fixing the actual sewage lines that are currently deteriorating. We've been meeting with a number of constituents and stakeholders really. We've met BCCI, we've met with BHDA, residents along the way and so on. What we've been saying and what we can update them on is the fact that once we have the injection well in use, and we expect that we should be able to do so by the end of May, if not sooner, then it allows us to be able to determine better timelines as to the way forward. Of course, we appreciate and understand the inconvenience and the economic fallout that most businesses, and particularly those along the South Coast, would have been experiencing. And we're not shying away from that, we're not stepping away from that. We're remaining very focused on what needs to be done. But we will not give false expectations at this point. We will not say that we can do this by the end of June or by the end of July when we do not have sufficient information to inform such a decision. Once we can stop that competing, recirculating factor of the effluent soil recirculating, from the time we can do that, we know that our levels will drop. So we're optimistic that we'll be able to at least contain most of it. We're not going to make promises because the situation is deteriorating. When I say we're not going to make promises, that's not a negative comment. That's just making sure that people understand that there are still several unknown factors that pop up from time to time, and that some of our mitigation measures fail from time to time. They're mostly mechanical. We have a lot of extraneous material still coming into the sewage. All of these things serve to derail our best efforts, and therefore we have to manage this on an hour-by-hourly basis, day-by-day basis, week-by-week basis. And therefore, while we may have projected timelines that make sense, we know that we can have these kind of incidents that will throw us off.
Thank you, Mr. Halliday, for providing us with the update, and thank you for continuing to watch Water Wednesdays. To view this or a previous episode again, please visit our website, www.barbadoswaterauthority.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel. Just type in Water Wednesdays.
It is the liquid of life. We